Hi, Sarah. Interesting photo. I've had you in class before, and this is presenting you in a different light than I would have imagined. So one thing I like about doing the self-portrait assignments is that, I get to um, see a little bit more who my students are. Um, there are a lot of tools in Photoshop, and there are a lot of different techniques using those tools. So in designing a course like this, you you design a path through it that hits on a lot of the fundamental important tools and ideas that are used like 90% of the time. Um, in my comments to this photo, I suggested, maybe you could like copy some of this. I don't know what this plant is, like maybe over here. What I'm thinking of is you have these diagonals here, and you've got the saw swooping this way, and you have this angle here with your shoulder, but wouldn't it be nice if that line continued up here? Like maybe this plant had some branches that were more balanced going this way. And, I said that and um, look for opportunities here to demonstrate things that I wouldn't otherwise do. Let me just zoom in here a little bit and down a little bit. That's quite an expression. So what am I talking about here? I'm talking about using some of this, flipping it this way. Now, a lot of different selection tools. Now, I don't want the building over here because that's not over on the other side. So I just want some of this foliage. I don't want your hair flipped to the other side, so I'm going to actually avoid your hair for the most part. And okay, so let's say double click. That's a little weird. Um, I'm just going to include that. So I'm going to copy this, Control C, deselect, paste. So I have this thing on a new layer. We're going to be doing more of this in upcoming lessons. I'm going to flip this. There are different ways. I mean, I could just show transform controls and, oh, I didn't mean to flip it upside down. I was trying to go, why is it doing that? Undo. This might be one of those new behaviors in Photoshop. I'm doing some undos here. Okay, so cancel. So we've got this thing. Just to be on the safe side, I am going to go into Edit, Transform, Flip Horizontal. Okay, so this gives me this flipped, so it's angled the other way. I could probably do some cloning to fill in. I'm going to try to avoid actually covering up your hair here. Okay, so maybe this gives me the look I want. Let me zoom out a little bit. It helps a little bit. Excuse me. So I'm going to just accept this transformation. All right, so is there anything else I could do with this? Let me zoom in again. Okay, so there are some gaps here. And we have this very straight line over here. We have an edge here. So if I just took the cloning tool, selected a source, select that, and clone here, I could kind of blend that together. Blend that so there's not a line anymore. Over here, there's kind of a line. If I select a source up here with the cloning tool and clone down here, I can kind of fill that gap. If I kind of select a source here and kind of paint here, select a source here, kind of paint here, I can create something that doesn't have a really hard line, at least. And then let me zoom out a little bit. Control minus. There's this kind of brighter foliage. I don't want to work on this too much, but this looks a little odd here, so I'm going to take the cloning tool, select a source, and clone here a little bit just to connect this up. So people looking at a photograph don't look at the detail in the background too much. So as long as there isn't a glaring error, like a really hard edge or something, people are going to accept what you put in there. So, this is an approach to creating a little different angle here. And I didn't rotate it as one thing. Like I could have taken this I don't know why it's flipping. This is different behavior. They've changed a lot of default behaviors in Photoshop. See, that's not the way it's supposed to work. Okay, well, let's say you have this going off the side, you can rotate it. So, that'd be a way to get like more of an angle than you get just from flipping it. So that's something you might consider doing as well. Gonna get out of that. Well, just for fun, I wasn't expecting this to take this long. There's just some odd behaviors in Photoshop. They've really changed the way some things work in Photoshop, which I'm not happy about. If you wanted to remove this, maybe you like this on here, but if you wanted to remove that just as a demo for the class, select the layer. I have to be sure you're on the right layer. An easy way to get rid of that would be to edit content aware fill. So it's going to fill that selection based on the area around it, and there you see the result. Deselect. Okay, so just a few points there. A couple opportunities based on your photograph. Maybe you like the word Fiskars on there. there's something to be said for keeping that text. Okay, interesting photo. Look forward to seeing the results.